this one, we're going to be speaking about lists. So the previous video was on a mini introduction to data structures. I will only be going over list for this basic programming tutorial. Reason being, the students I have, we only need to focus on lists for now. So I want to be as quick as possible and show them how to use stuff. After the fact, I will come back and I will make a video on dictionaries, tuples, and sets. But for now, we only need to make use of lists. So for other people, I'm really sorry. I need to focus on my students for now. I will come back to it at some point though. So a list, there are many actions that we can perform on a list. I'll be going through some of them, and this is some of them. So what I'm going to be doing in Python now is creating a list, and then we'll be doing some of these actions on the list. So let's jump over to Thonny. Let me close this program I had open a new one, Control N, and I'm going to say list program. The date again today is the 12th of the 11th, 2022. Runs Tech Hub is the creator of this program. And down here, I need to say create. Actually, let me just copy from my Word document. Create a list of 4 items. Okay. That's the first thing I have to do. So let me copy in this comment. Let's just paste it here. A list of 4 items. Let's do 4 names. So names equal, and the way we create a list, we use a square brackets. So that's why I said in the previous video, square brackets. So this is an empty list as it stands right now. But to put names in there, remember, names are strings and the same rules apply here. So we have to put things inside quotes. 2, 3, 4. As it stands now, this is a list of 4 empty things. So to put the names in, I'm going to say runs Tech Hub. Yeah, that's 1. So next one is called Tech Jamo. Then we have Ray Mo 2 hands. So again, a variable name, same type of variable name is used, but now we can store multiple values. We can store, I've said create 4 here. So this is how we create a list, and this is how we populate the list. Now let me go back to my notes. Prove that it is a list. All right, I can prove that. That's an easy way to prove this. Just like we did with data types before, we prove it's a list by we simply print. Let's print the name of it. So it's called names. But before that, we put type, and this will tell us what type of thing it is. So let me just run this straight away. F5, and it tells me, oh, look, it's a list. I haven't printed the contents of the list, but let's see what the next thing is I have to do. So again, I created my list and I added stuff to my list. It doesn't only have to be quotes. I can actually put numbers in here as well. So I can say 100 minus 10, whatever I want, and I can press F5 and this will still run. It's still a list. It doesn't matter what data type is held inside of it. It's still a list. Next, we have append an item to the list. So let me copy this and let me come down here. Do this. Now I'm going to remove the last 2 things I added, and I'm going to actually append another thing to the list. When we say append something, it means simply add it to the end of the list. So when I say append your name to the list, append your name to the data sheet, it simply means to add your name to the end of it. So the way we do this, we do names dot append square round brackets, and we put the thing we want to append. So let's put Bob the Builder. I hope Bob the Builder doesn't sue me because I keep using his name for stuff. Append an item to the list. Now, because I've said append, I don't need to tell it where to go. It will automatically go to the very end. So let me actually print it out before I append and print it out after I append. So let me go here. Print original list. Just going to go print names. This is going to print just the original thing I created here. And again, because this is going in sequence, it does one thing at a time. It's not going to go through and do everything all at once. It will do this, see what this line says, and then do that next, then do this next, and do this next. After I've appended, let me just print first. This is the original list. This is the type of thing it is. So let me put in here, original list, comma. Let me print in here, type of data, put that, put a comma there. Let's run this again. So original list, and we get the original list there. The type of data, we get that one there. We have appended something. Now I need to print the new updated appended list. So let me put that there. Print updated list. Same process. All I'm going to do is copy this and do that, paste that there. Original list, it won't be original, this will be updated list called names. So let me go over this before I print anything again. The comments describe everything, but let me just still go over it. We create the list with what, 4 names roughly, or 4 things. We print the original list, or print whatever we've created here, we print it. Then after that, we prove it is a list, and we use the type function in Python. So I simply say the type of thing that this is, and this is all you need to do. You could put this in a print statement by itself, but because I want my program to look neat and to be more readable so that people don't get confused when they see stuff, I've put it here. I could simply do as well print type, T-Y-P-E, not typer, T-Y-P-E, and in here I could put names. This does exactly the same thing. One of them just doesn't look as neat. So I'm going to leave both of those in for now just to show the difference. And here I've said append an item to the list. Append simply means to add an item to the end of the list. And this one says a print updated list. So let me run this. And as you can see, I have my original list here with just the first 4 names I added here. I have the type of data, which is called a class list. And I also have type of data again, but not with my fancy text. So I'm going to leave both of these in so you guys can compare and see what's best for you. Now, typically speaking, when a programmer needs to see what they want to do, they don't need to know that. They don't need to see this text here. They typically just need to see class list and they know, okay, it's a list, let's move on. And now I have my updated list, and as you can see, that same list, the same first 4 things, runs Tech Hub, TechJamo, Raymo, 2 Hands, IGN, and then I have Bob the Builder because that's what I chose to add to the list here. I can append as many things as I want. So if I do this and do another append, let's do Goku, G-O-K-U. Let's do, what did I say before? Majin Buu, M-A-J-I-N, B-U-U. We can do as many things as we want. So if I press F5, my list has now been updated again, and I have more items. So this is how we simply throw something at the bottom of a list, throw something at the end of a list. Next thing we need to do is to remove an item from the list. A few ways we can do this. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say remove item from list. So I'm going to do names dot. Another thing actually that I might show you guys is code completion. So let's just say I type names and I type dot. I want to know what are the actions I can do with this thing. This thing called names is a list. What are the actions I can do with it? I can press Control on my keyboard, hold it down, and press space. When I do that, all of this list will pop up, and everyone doing BTech Level 3 IT, BTech Level 3 Engineering should make use of this because it's a really quick way to help you figure out the things you need to do without having to Google. And especially for the engineering guys who you won't have internet in the exam, this is a good way to know what can I actually do with this thing. And I can append. I'm trying to remove something. So which one do you think I need to choose? Look at the list, right? Look at the list. It says remove. I click remove and I can just tell it what I want to remove. I can do 2 things. I can remove things by location, or I can just type the name of something. So I know I have Goku in the list. So let me just remove Goku. So G-O-K-U. I'm going to print the list again. So print, I'm going to say list after remove. Put that there and put names. So what this does is should remove the name Goku from the list. Let's put a new line after everything I print just to make sure it's super neat. So new line there, new line there, new line here as well, and new line here as well, just so my code is a bit more spread out, a bit easier to read. Press F5. Right, it's a bit longer now, but as you can see, this is the updated list which had Goku in it, and Goku is located here. And my list after remove has no Goku in it. So you guys can pause the video and have a look at that. There's no Goku there. This is how we remove an item from a list. So let's just say you had a massive list as a database and you thought, oh, this person deleted their account, let's remove them from the list. This is how you would do it. You could get the person user input. You could come in and you could say, okay, the person said their username is Goku, and we now need to remove Goku from the list, and this is how it's done. The next thing we have to do, get the length of the list. I like this one. So because it's going to tell us how many items there are in the list. So I'm going to print print names, and before names I'm going to do len open bracket and then put another close bracket here. Again, this does print the length of names, and it's going to print the most up-to-date version. So the very last version we had was, if I can count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 items in the list. But look at the way it does this. Press F5, and there we go, 6 items in the list. That's how we print the length of the items. Now, if I copy this same thing and put it, let's make it look pretty, length of list, that, and that, let's copy this line. Let's move it to the very first place we created our list at the very top. Paste it there. Let me copy the comment as well, just so we have nothing left ambiguous. Get the length of the list. So this should print 1, 2, 3, 4, because the original list had 4 things. Then I appended 3 more things. I added 3 more things to it, and after that I removed one thing called Goku. So I'm going to now run this F5 on my keyboard. Come up here. Length of list is 4. This is the list of 4. The type of data is called a class. Well, it's a list, sorry. The updated list had 3 more items, and I removed Goku, and now I have 6 things. So slowly building up our program, slowly but surely. \n to get a new line character, so this will be on a new line again. Save that. Oh, sorry, run that. F5 to run that. And there we go, length of list. So slowly building up the functionality of a list. Now, this is not exhaustive. The stuff that you can do with the list, I will never be able to go over all of it in a single video. That's just going to be way too long for me. So we can do Python list actions or operations, I guess. And then you can go to the Python website, or even go to this one here, and it tells you every single thing that you can do with the list. But I'm focusing on the main ones that most people need to know. This is what you can do with the list. This is some of them again. Now, the thing with sorting a list is that before you can sort it, it has to be the same data type. Before I had IGN, I had 10, then I had something like 100. I cannot sort this list. Sorting means just putting in ascending order. And I cannot put this in ascending order because there are different types of things. IGN and 110 have nothing in common, whereas all the strings have something in common. So Python can go through and put this in ascending order. The numbers have something in common, but we cannot have separate data types being sorted. So I'm going to come down to the bottom of my list thing here, and I'm going to sort my list. And to do it, again, NAMES dot, then I'm going to press Control and Spacebar. It comes up with what I need to do, all the functions I can carry out on this list. So let me scroll down and see if I have sort on my thing. Oh, look at that, I have sort. Press that. And all I need to do is to close that bracket, and I'm done. Now I'm going to print this again. Let's print this one here. Copy that one there, sorry. And let's print list after sort, S-O-R-T. Call it names. And again, press F5 on my keyboard. And here we go. The one that should come first is Bob the Builder, because B comes way before I comes before M comes before R, and we have RA for Raymo, but we have RO for Runs Tech Hub. So hopefully that's clear enough. This is just how we put things in alphabetical order. Now, if I had a list of numbers, this would simply put the numbers in order. So 10 would be first, then it would be 100, then 1,000, then 100,000, then 1 million, then whatever comes next. So we put it in order. We can also go in reverse order as well. I don't remember how to do that, but let's figure that out. Sort in descending order. So I'm going to copy this same thing, paste that, and I'm going to say names.sort. And I'm going to actually go and Google this because I genuinely don't remember this one. I don't normally use this one. So Python sort descending order. Here we go. And let's see what we have to put in. So to sort in descending order, this is what we do. So we put list.sort, sort the thing, then we simply put inside the brackets. So to sort in descending order, we simply put inside the brackets reverse equals true. And that's it. I'm going to go back to my program. I'm going to go inside the brackets here, paste reverse equals true, and I'm going to say print list after reverse, list after reverse. I'm going to run this program again, F5, and here we go, list after reverse, and what we had last is now at the very top. So this is the list after sort, and Tech Jammer was at the very last, but now he's at the top because I reversed the entire list. So that's another action that we can do on a list. Add new data type in the list. Oh, this is going to break my program. 100% sure it is, because again, I mentioned we're not allowed to sort different things in the same list. So things must be of a similar data type. So I'm going to just go ahead and create a new list. So I'm going to say new list equals, and I'm going to do that, square brackets. I'm going to put in the first one, Bob, then I'm going to put 10, and I'm going to put person A, then I'm going to put 200, right? This is how we create a list of different data types. And just like other lists, we can add to it, we can remove from it, we can do all the same things, but we cannot sort this list because we cannot sort numbers and letters. We have to remove the numbers, then sort it, or remove the letters and then sort it. That's the only way we can do it. If I print this list just like I did normally, nothing special here, new list, I press F5 on my keyboard, come down here, here's my new list, nothing special, just a list. And again, benefits, I can choose to put 100 million names in a list versus a single variable called name. I can only put one name there. This one, I can put as many names as I want. Join two lists. So go back to my program now. I have two lists now, which is good. I'm going to come down here, join two lists. Oh, this one was create. So list with multiple data types. I'm going to put my hashtag here. And that's it. Join two lists. I know my list one is called new list and the list at the very top is called names. So to join them, I can say, call this one join list actually. Join list or joint list, proper English, is going to be new list plus names. I think that's how you do it. And then I do print and I do joint list, joint list. So again, I'm using variable names for everything because I don't want to remember stuff. Print this, F5, and joint list. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So that works fine. So I'm going to put something nice in here so we can see it. \n first. Joint list contents. Let me put this way down. So if you put multiple \n's, it gives you a line for each one. Put a comma here. And when I run, press F5 to run. Joint list, I have Bob 10 per, I have a mixture of everything in here. So every single thing I had from both lists combined together. And because I put new list first, it does the contents of new list first. So Bob 10 person A then 200, Bob 10 person A 200, and then it just flings everything from the other list onto it. So that's how we join two lists. Now remember, whatever you want to do with the list, let me put some space here and I do names dot, press control and spacebar, and it will give you a list of every single thing that you can do. I don't want to go through all of this. This is going to be very, 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 very long. So you guys can figure out what each one of them mean and figure out how to use each one. Hopefully this video was helpful. And again, this is a very basic introduction video for people using lists. I haven't touched on dictionaries, sets or tuples yet because most young basic programmers who are learning are going to be making use of lists more than anything else. You still need to know the others because I'm sure there are going to be instances where you will use sets, you will use tuples, and you will use dictionaries especially. But I think lists overall are going to be the most common and the most basic one for most people to use and understand. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that was useful.